Hey everybody, welcome back to Active Self-Protection Extra. It's another Mantis Monday. It's Neil here, continuing on with my tour through all of the Mantis X10 stuff and how you can do it with the X10 and without. You don't have to have one to follow along with this thing if you don't want to. If you do have one, I'm going to walk you through it. I know there's a lot of people that got these things for the holidays or have had them sitting on the shelf collecting dust for a while, just don't know what all there is there and what they can do. And to be completely honest, they've added some stuff. Mine's been a little dusty too. So jump back on the horse with me if you'd like. Let's have some fun with it.
Today's video is brought to us by Mantis. The Mantis family of products is integral to ASP staff building handgun and carbine skills and are your most economical and fastest path to improvement in your skills too. Whether you choose the X10, the Laser Academy, the Blackbeard, or use them all in concert, they will help your practice be more effective, efficient, and fun. Go check them out, pick up a unit, and thank them for sponsoring today's video.
All right, so this week I'm going to show you the next ones down. We'll probably get two of them in here this week. We've done some of the open training stuff, the benchmarks, the time benchmarks, the endurance where Neil really sucked. We did the compressed surprise break where I showed you, the play on Gabe White's 3 triggers and how to use the system for that and get better. We're down here to primary hand and support hand only. Those are 2 different drills, but we can probably lump those things together for one video and have a good time with it. Really, they are very self-explanatory. It's primary hand only, so you're going to set this thing up. It's going to you're going to shoot your shots with your primary hand. Again, I'm a righty because we rule the world, and I'm going to give my best shots that way, see what my score is, give you a few tips on maybe helping you improve yours and some ideas and some tricks of the trade that maybe you want to try. There's several different ways to shoot primary hand only or single-handed shooting that work for some folks and don't work for others. There's different things to consider. And then if we have some time here, I'm going to try to get into the support hand only as well. And then I'll save us a week and we can get into something else next week. With the primary hand only, it's a little bit like the benchmark where it sets up to start with 10 shots. So you're going to draw your gun. I've got all my setup, the same setup I use every week here in my dry fire stuff. Mantis down here on the mag and my barrel block in. Now, what I like to do when I'm shooting strong hand only is step forward with my strong hand. I know some people are like, they get your stance, get out there, and then just take this hand off and do everything the same. That's one way to do it. I have found that I don't shoot as well that way. Maybe I would if I practiced more, but that's one way to do it. And if that's the way you do it, I'm not saying it's wrong. Continue on if that's the way you want to do it. I don't care. The way I like to do it is I like to step my right foot forward with my right hand, and I keep my hips aimed at the target, but now I just pull this hand down and I kind of straighten this arm out just a little bit. I can't just a little. Here, I'm going to point at the target or at the camera here so you can see. So I can't just a little bit. My thumb comes out like so, and I let the gun kind of ride on the camera. So I'm canted just about that much. Some folks will tell you to cant like so. Some are up and down. Again, this is very personal. I think you need to play with it and see how the recoil goes through your body and what happens in live fire with this. But for dry fire, I'm going to cant it just a little bit. I've got my timer set. With my support hand, I just make a fist and I put it here into my body, right into my chest, about right there. And I aim out, I see my sights.
68.
Ooh, that was horrible.
93.
There we go.
96. 93. 90.
Always breathing.
95.
You may find that you get some fatigue in your arm there. I know when Natalie and I do this, we'll both get some fatigue. So take a breather. It's okay. This is not a time drill. I've got 6 shots down and I've got an average of 89. With that 68 start didn't help me any. Let's see if I can get that over 90.
92. 93. 95.
One more.
94.
Okay. So I got my average over 90. I got a 91 average on there. You can see through my scores here, everything over 90. Heck, that would have, I should have used this for the endurance. I should have used my strong hand. Of course, I'd have been out after one shot, 68 start. So if we scroll over here and I watch that very first shot, and again, the squiggly lines, we'll get into this more, but the blue is before I pulled the trigger. The yellow is as the trigger breaks, and the red is my follow through. You can see it never really moved out of the 10 ring, but boy, that thing was moving around all over the place, and I was cleaning it up as I pulled the trigger. So that was, oh, hold on, here we go, there we go. This one's a little, this is the one. So yeah, it moved all over the place. I was probably in the 8 ring on that. So again, if you don't have the Mantis, that's what you're looking for. If I can play this one more time here, if this works, hopefully you'll be able to see this. But you can see what happens. So what you're doing is you're watching your dot or your front sight as you press that trigger, and you're really paying attention. You got to super focus and hyper focus on that to see what it does. That's why I say have a target that is a different color than your sight. So if you got a white front sight, use a dark colored target, vice versa. And pay attention to that and see where was that dot or your front sight as the trigger broke, and that's where you're really going to score yourself. So if you don't have the Mantis, you can easily do this. You can work primary hand, all of that. You can can it, you can thumb up, thumb forward, thumb down, those are the different kind of things that you need to work on. I like to have my support hand in here, a strong fist. Some folks like it in their pocket, some put it behind their back, some put it at their side. All of that is completely up to you and completely personal. You do you. I think a lot of folks and a lot of instructors will have you shoot primary hand only in the event that you have an injury or you're carrying something that you can't put down, such as a baby. I totally get that. Nothing wrong with that. But if you had a baby, you would probably squeeze them into you to get them further away from that. If God forbid the worst happens, you have to shoot a gun with the baby in your hands. It's already a bad day. Do that very, very carefully, and that's why we practice this stuff. The odds of most of that kind of stuff, the odds of you having to shoot one-handed because of an injury are pretty low, but it could happen. And so the next thing that we've got to work on is the support hand only. And so we're going to do that as well. It's the exact same drill as before, and then we're just going to now use the support hand. But what I'm going to talk to you through here in this week's video is first off, to get the gun into the support hand, what we're going to do is we're going to draw it out like we normally would, and then really just put it in your other hand. I like to dip it just a little bit. Here, I'm going to face the camera a little bit, so it's kind of laying in this hand. So now as I let go with this hand, if God forbid the thing dropped, it's going to land in my left hand. That's how I move it. I just cant it just a little bit. Once I get it in there, I've got my finger high and in register here. I've got my thumb up high. I've got my trigger reset, and I'm going to give it 10 shots.
80. 90.
You can see that I can't just a little bit more with my left hand
92.
than I do with my right hand, and and I see that with a lot of shooters. They don't mirror image because I can't very much with my strong hand, but with my support hand I do can a little bit, and then my recoil it tracks all over the place. So probably something I should be working on. I just don't spend enough time with it.
86. 90.
And you'll notice I put my left foot forward too as well when I do this.
88. 91. 89.
I got 2 left.
93.
Where that dot is just wiggling all over.
92.
Okay, so then I move it back over, holster up, averaged 89.6 here, so not horrible scores for the offhand, no more than I've done this, 6, 7, 8 seconds in between. When I stopped to talk to you there, I had about 20 seconds in between those. just, it's another thing to work through, working through that support hand. Experiment a little bit with where you put your thumb placement, where you put your feet, if you like that left foot forward, if you like it back, where you like your offhand up, down, in the middle. I find for most people that I have worked with, a good, strong, solid fist here helps you get a better grip over here. And I know I've talked in weeks past that you have to relax your trigger or your strong hand, or so your trigger finger can press through there. But again, this isn't a timed drill. We're just working on complete accuracy there. Most of these would have been good hits. I think just about all of them were good hits. Even the 80 would probably been in the the 8 ring. So I'm still doing okay as far if you're a B8 shooter or whatever. But go out and work these things. Join us in the Ask Dry Fire Challenge group. Do some of this stuff. Come in and tell us how you did this week with your offhand and your sport hand, so your one-handed shooting. It's not something that we see a lot of, like on the videos that John breaks down. You don't see a ton of one-handed shooting, but it does happen. And from time to time, it could be there. And on your worst day, if you've practiced it a little bit, hopefully you're going to be better off than had you not practiced it at all. So thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming through this. I appreciate the Mantis guys for helping us do this whole project and go through this. Got a few more drills to go through, and then we're going to start Course of Fire. So thanks for watching. Hang around. We'll see you next week.